We're coming into the final bit here. The last best of 3 that we're casting tonight. The winner of this goes on to the finals. My name is Slow Wolf, and with me today, we got 4-Court Jester doing the last bit of this qualifier number 4 tournament for the Alienware Awesome Cup tournament. How are you feeling right now?
Very sated. We've seen some amazing games, but you know what?
It's intense.
We're going to do the second semifinals.
The second semifinals. We're going to see exactly who gets to the finals. Who is going to be in our finals?
Somebody.
Like the actual, big bit.
It's going to be one of these 2 teams.
Who's going to be? I don't know. Is it going to be Boom?
A
Or is it
team
going
that
to
is
Suck
very
My
good.
Nuts?
Also a team that is very good.
We've covered both of them.
Well, we talked actually to our admin, and he said, he gave us a few stats. Gallo played in all 4 qualifiers. Qualified on number 4.
Took him a month.
Boom has reached round 6, which is basically this round,
Yeah.
I think, of all 4 qualifiers as well.
And now they're finally here, and they're competing.
This is
for
their last
time.
chance.
This is their last chance. Can they do this? Is the
This is
question. The answer, we'll find out. Let's take a look at these picks. Suck my nuts. They're going to go ahead and pick up Penny Fox, a Froggy G, and Gnau. Boom, picking up Swiggins, Vinny, and Frog. So we talked about aggressive, greedy lineups before. This is another great example of it. Boom, sporting a triple dash lineup. If they find a collapse, they are going to collapse hard on it. Suck My Nuts, on the other hand, they've got the same sort of deal with Penny and Frog, but they've got one person lagging in behind.
You're not a fan of that, of Gna. You are not.
I have to admit, right now, Na just feels like he doesn't fit in a lot of these, in a lot of lineups. And when we see him, he tends to do pretty well in the early game and then drops off really hard. Now, I will say that in this case, he could pick up the poison damage, could be absolutely vital in killing off these hard-to-catch people like Frog and Vinny. But at the same time, he is easy to kill. He is very squish. If he gets caught out against this team, he is going to die. So we're going to have to see whether or not this not pick ends up being as critical as I think it is. However, with good play out of the Penny and good play out of the Frog, Suck My Nuts could easily still very much take this, and with Na backing them up, that could be a very powerful combination between all the burst damage and then the poison to finish it off.
Something to note, though, we have 2 sources of vulnerability for Suck My Nuts.
That's true. They have 2 sources of amplified damage between the Na and the Penny.
Amplifying damage on poisons.
Yeah, that could work.
It could, yeah. And, we're going to Aguilar, so we're back to purple. We're back to basics at this point. And there's a lot of space in the jungles, in the mid, in the top, in the bottom. A lot of places you can put wards, a lot of use for them there. Body blocking, vision, grabbing neutral creeps. And, well, drip spit, split spit, we've seen them both on this map, no less. There's a lot of places that actually you can use that to zone out your opponents, to control the map. So as you said, he will be a critical pick. Will he be critical success or critical fail?
And that's going to depend entirely on the utility that he brings to the table in this first match, in this best of 3. Let's go ahead and see what happens.
The excitement is palpable.
I can practically feel it. My beard tingles in anticipation.
I might be sated from all my awesome nuts, but you know what? There's room for one more serving.
There's always room for one more serving. As Yeezus on your Na for SMN. You got Jorv on your Frog and Penny being played by Celti. On the blue team, you got Blah playing your Frog. You've got Paolo on your Vinny and Kaio on your Swiggins. As this match gets into the first blood already, Celti picking up the second, but Celti now trying to run away for her life. Is she going to get away? Absolutely not. The bubble gun says you are going to die. Yeezus, now the only one left alive against Paolo. Paolo going to just float away. And now Frog maybe interrupts.
Oh, why would he float down, Paolo? Why?
Well, Paolo unable to pick up the 3rd kill on the back of all that. But still, 2 kills in favor of Boom at the very beginning of the match.
We've seen
not even a minute in and 3 deaths.
Yeah, we've seen 3 deaths at a minute in.
Yeah, but dang.
Qualifier here on number 4, one of the finalists, Gallo, of course, does some really amazing early game work. But this time, draining blow for blow. Suck My Nuts coming out a little bit behind in that regard. But Yeezus did live through that, which means that his wards are actually still going to be in place. And he actually does have a ward there in the mid. And that's going to feed him a continuous source of solar, of health, and a creep score.
And that's going to be important to Na's survivability in this match. He's a very frail character, but with that extra 30 HP every couple of seconds out of those creeps, he can stand to be a lot more aggressive and play a lot closer to the wire and still come out on top. So I think that that's a good move. I think that they need to do that for Na. Otherwise, he's going to be a useless pickup.
Well, he is throwing around a lot of that poison as well, and if he puts up the wards, especially in these vision areas, put him in the mid, put him in these creeps, you're really going to be maximizing your utility out of them, because I don't think really that the wards do stand a chance of surviving if they're going to be putting them in lane.
No, absolutely not. They can get killed out very easily. But look at them. They're just sitting here shooting away,
all the damage.
getting off a decent amount of damage, and they ended up doing at least 200 damage apiece in that particular engagement. So well played by them. Good job, Weedlings. You might yet be this game's heroes.
MVPs, the mindless AI.
It's simultaneously the best and the worst.
Yeah, a little bit. But 2-1, a little bit of rest between these kill phases, but some items are going to be coming out. We do got one piggy bank that I can count there, and that's going to actually be on the frog, and that's very common. He gets both of his abilities, gets the piggy bank, and either increase one of them or go for the boots like we saw here. Should lead into some increased viability, some increased chasing on Jorv there. And Jorv, he's a fantastic frog if memory serves.
Yeah, he's dang good at what he does. Blah, also a good frog, though, so they're evenly matched, I would think.
Oh, yeah, we were talking about Blah earlier.
Absolutely. Oh, Blah taking a ton of damage there, and the pulse. He'll end up living, though just barely. Now, on the other end of things, though, Paolo, can I just mention for a second, he went Solar Cloud.
Yep.
That is going to be exceptionally useful in this particular matchup. Kaio taking a bunch of damage right here. But the reason why it's going to be useful, look at all these Weedlings.
Yep.
3 of them
They count.
within Cloud's damage, within Cloud's reach of each other. That is a lot of solar that he can be farming off of what would normally be the other team's biggest advantage. So
right.
That there is making use of a bad situation.
Yeah, it's taking the bad, turning it into a good. Now, of course, we can actually kill out these Weedlings, but there you go. As you said, you put them down, it will blind out the Weedlings, gives Paolo the health. Does he have the solar crab burgers? He does. And, we've been seeing a lot of early game aggression from Vinny players, but this time, Paolo's, he's taking a lot more of a late game build, but it's still enough to, combo with teammates, get kills like Seltzy there, and that's going to just put a lot more cash in their pocket.
Well, on the other hand, though, all these Weedlings doing is not
Blah not going to get
Blah's going to get out of there. And the Weedlings, 2 of them blinded, so they're not going to end up getting Paolo. But still, those Weedlings did a lot of work. They're all grouped up together. They're a little bit hard to kill now that they're all together, and that the other team isn't able to really commit the time to get all of them. Paolo, though, just going to use them to get his solar farm out of them.
But more importantly, his health back.
Yeah, not that he really needed a lot of health back at the beginning of that, but yeah, absolutely, he can use that to regen any time. Now the Weedlings also upped in size.
Oh dear.
As Na picks up the size upgrade.
Yep. Now Penny does come down, tries to pick up that invis, but it's actually going to go here of Kaio, who does actually land the combo, but Jorv, believe it or not, did not actually tornado that. I thought that was for sure going to be a squid kill.
No dice though. No,
yeah,
Squid
didn't happen.
Squid's going to be end up going low, and then he'll walk away. So no kill there. 3-2 still in favor of Boom, but this is still very much a close game. It's any man's game at this point.
It's 5 minutes in. It's not very easy to judge. I mean, these are semi-finalists after all.
Absolutely. And both teams opting to have that one character go for a later game guarantee. The Vinny for Team Boom going for that solar, and the Na being that backbone that allows him to just secure some HP packs and all that stuff. Lots of damage coming out here. Pulse hitting 2 members of Team Boom, and everyone's just going to kind of go right back to farming. Yeah,
nice escape there from the Jorv on the back of that. So these 4 wards is essentially ensuring from Suck My Nauts that this top lane is always going to be pushing. Paulo just always puts down a cloud up top, and no tower damage is ever rendered.
The one weak point to all this is if the Na gets picked off, all those Weedlings go bye-bye. And that could be a big problem for them. So they need to be super careful.
Well, that's why he becomes a big target after that.
Oh, and he's going to always be a big target. And now that he doesn't have that one Weedling taking care of the droids, the creeps in the neutral areas, he doesn't have as much HP as he would maybe like. So he needs to be super careful about where he is and what he does.
Front line. He's not a frontline fighter with this.
No, he's not. That's true. But, no, going to just stick to pushing out this top lane, and he's doing a very good job of it so far. And that's kind of what they needed to do, is just provide that safe space for the rest of the red team to do what they need to do to get that farm that they want up until the moment where they're big enough that they can handle these big team fights and not can handle the support. However, it's not all about them. They have picked up some items, the shield and the ninja worms on Jorv, for instance. However, solar crab burgers are being supplemented by chrome file and the bag of goldfish on the Vinny.
Those are very common pickups for your first big damage increase.
Yeah, and it's so far, like it's evenly matched, but the Vinny is starting to pick up damage and at a worrisome rate at that. Against a fragile team like the red team has right now, that could be very,
This
very
could
bad.
also be a fantastic pickup if they can actually pick up the kill on top of Yeezus. And we're still looking for some of those cooldowns, but it will not be a kill. Not this early. We're going to need a little bit more damage here from Boom in order to secure that. So these Weedlings will stay intact. And as I said, they're going to come up here. No can do. You're just going to get stopped out by the blind, picked up. And that solar cloud is now starting to really pay itself off. Look at the solar values. 937 and counting here for the Vinny. He's taken a clear lead over everyone in this match.
Absolutely, and that's what the solar cloud does. On top of that, it's also really good at stalling it out. So this top turret, despite the fact that it has Weedlings in its lane, still very much alive, not having not taken very much damage at all. Oh, Blah getting dashed out, so
It's very smart from Paulo.
very, very smart from Paulo. It was a really good idea, and it's paying off its in dividends right now in a big way.
So what else is going on? What other kind of big items do we got? I mean, let's take a look at the Swiggins. What is the Swiggins up to?
He's got Blue Heart Metal and Kraken statue, so now he's got a stun on top of his Frog stun. The Frog also picking up Hammer Pants now, as well as a rank regen. So Blah going for that serious amount of burst damage on the Frog. Not atypical of Frogs at all. In fact, keeping right in line with the majority of Frog players thinking. And against somebody like a Nah, you want that burst. If you can pull off that burst, then you're good to go. Blah going to end up taking a little bit of dash, but nothing compared to his Frog counterpart on the other team. Jorv gets burst out. Yeezus now in a bad spot, possibly, but they can't really follow into this Wheeling Nest. This Wheeling Nest, a lot of damage can come out of it very quickly. Every shot doing 70 damage. If all 4 of them hit you with one volley, that's 280 damage. And
you'll notice that
Blue
gets like almost all the kills right now in the bottom lane, in the mid, in the bottom, in the jungle. It's not this top because, just like I said, they can't fight it.
No,
they don't really have the makeup to kill those.
Yeah.
You got to use the cloud on the creeps to save the tower. That leaves you with a Frog dash in, which just worked out great against Siltsy, but Siltsy is not a Weedling.
No, Celsi is not a Weedling, and Yeezus is not a Weedling either, but he is the mama of all the Weedlings. Down goes the Nah. Now it's just Frog. Frog's going to get out of there. Jorv not going to end up dying. So the Weedling Nest now completely undone, and the blue team now has free reign of the entire map again.
That is huge.
Absolutely. It gives oh, wow! That was a very powerful kill. Blah doing the dash NATO and ultimately just outbursting Jorv in a matter of a second. Jorv thought he was safe to pick up some creeps. Not so. He ends up going down. Celsi now quite low as well.
And that return damage on these towers is more than we've actually accumulated from Suck by Nauts after that siege on top lane.
Yeah, and that siege on top lane again kept on getting stopped out by this Vinny, just putting out his cloud, getting the money, and Blind, a very powerful mechanic against push-heavy teams. Yep. Oh, Yeezus taking all the damage. Paolo picking up that kill, and now the burst is coming out. It's really real at this point.
Is this the big momentum swing of the match?
This is probably the big momentum swing of the match, yeah. I mean, Vinny's getting big. He's got all the money he could possibly want. Jorv now taking a ton of damage. And now he bounced up the wrong bounce pad. If he gets caught out, oh, Kaio just a little slow on the uptake.
I'm a little surprised Jorv actually didn't try to dash right back down through that jump pad. I mean, that's not something Paulo, who just used his own dash, could actually follow through.
Yeah, but
that was a very dangerous topward descent.
It was a very dangerous topward descent, and it ultimately did pay off. He lived, but you're right.
This time.
That would have, yeah. Next time he might not be.
We
so
have
lucky.
what, 600 solar sitting on that Vinny? Like when he goes back, that's going to be the second Chrome file. That's going to be more damage. That's going to be like maybe even just bubble guns. Like who knows?
700 damage dash guaranteed, but past that we'll see. Wheeling Nest being rebuilt up here. Yeezus trying to go and cement that upper area for his teammate again, but the dash coming out is going to hit 2 members of the team. Yeezus extremely low. So is Celsi. Celsi's going to get away, but Yeezus might not be so lucky. He's got the 500 HP pack, and he gets dashed to death. Down he goes alongside all of his Weedlings. So that's going to be the end of the reign of Now. Yeah, it's just unbelievable.
9-2. Boom, showing us why they made it here into the semis. And like I said, you know, these guys, they've been playing in a lot of the qualifiers. They have a lot of experience under the belt. They've probably been doing a lot of solo queue practice. And, you know, they mastered their jitters. They know what they're doing. I saw your face right there.
This is a very powerful game coming out of Boom right now. Vinny now picking up the 700 damage dash on top of Silence Cloud. So now when he initiates these fights, if he jumps on enough people at once and puts out that cloud, they are going to have to scatter, and they won't be able to if Kaio has something to say about it. All right, Paolo maybe coming in here, but nope, he decides otherwise. He's just going to get some HP, and they'll engage when it's more favorable. Jorv going in for a dash NATO onto Kaio. Kaio's just going to back off alongside Blod.
We have silence on the Penny as well.
Yeah, so silence on the Penny, but only one rank in the pet rock upgrade, and not a lot of damage on the pulse either. In fact, no damage upgrades on that pulse yet.
Which is a little weird.
It's 400 damage base, which is still quite good. But
it's a Cocoa Ball. It's a Raven Snipe. Yeah. Yeah,
but it's still not as good as it could possibly be. I think the silence is very important, and so is the range. But, yeah, in this case, they really need to get that damage. They need to get that burst so that way they can kill Paolo before his cloud heals him up too much. That cloud offers a lot of sustain in these fights, particularly if the fights stay in and around that cloud area. Oh, Kaio coming in for the grapple drop, and down he goes. Sweet. Triple dash, proving that, yeah, you see a moment to capitalize on, you can capitalize on it.
And they got the mama. There goes those wards.
Yeah, as if there weren't very many to begin with, and down he goes.
Wow. We are now in one-shot territory with one global between the team.
Yeah, it's triple dash. Triple dash will do that. You can do the same thing with Penny and a couple, and it's brutal. It's a lot of damage.
Well, Blau's just going to deny out the creeps there on top of Jorv. Not that he actually needed them, but tower damage is still, again, surmounting here. And I gotta, like, the towers in the top are in the inverse. The siege has been so long on top of Boom, but Blind Cloud has really kept it so healthy that on the flip side, all that missing health from Blue is actually all that's left here for Red.
Absolutely, and it's really unfortunate that the siege on top just did not work out. The Gnaw pickup getting practically completely countered by this Vinny pick.
Now I don't know how many times I'm ever going to get to say this in my awesome commentating career, but I'm kind of questioning the Penny pickup.
Okay. Why?
What is she doing?
All right. Well,
not much.
Yeah, she's not doing much. She's not getting kills.
She's doing stuff.
She's dying.
She's dying a lot. She's doing stuff. Like, there is the vulnerability. She does have the silence, but if we see a Penny, we see usually big things out of the Penny. So far, I haven't really been getting that feeling from her. Yeah, the Gnaw's been doing great stuff. Froggy's on both sides. We talked a lot about the Vinnies. A good star right now, but what is the Penny doing?
The Penny, unfortunately, is a very frail character that really...
Right, to go with two other very frail characters.
Exactly, and it's, again, it's one of those greedy lineups that got picked off. It's one of those greedy lineups that didn't work out. The Gnaw, like the power of Gnaw, which was supposed to happen in the early game, just waning really hard as he got picked off once, twice in a row, and then that was it.
Right, but so
Penny right now can't really do anything. It's not really her fault. It had a lot to do with just
her fault. I'm just questioning, like, back in the draft, what was the motivation to pick a Penny into this?
Damage. It was everything about the gank damage, and if you could get it, then so much the better. You could kill the other team. And to be fair, the blue team is, with the exception of Kaio, very squish. But in this case, honestly, it's just a matter of there's not enough team to really survive the triple dash burst that there is coming out. Although Blah might end up dying here as his life continuously gets poisoned. Although the dash and vulnerability frames just enough to keep him alive. Jorv gonna jump out of there. Now it's Yeezus versus Kaio and Paolo. Paolo gonna keep chasing Celtsy. Celtsy now going and trying to deal with this Paolo, but he's extremely low. So is Jorv. One dash is going to end him, so he needs to be super careful. Celtsy extremely low now as well. He's going to have to go home and heal. Jorv trying to get a dash off. He's going to do some stuff, but yeah,
Jorv missed.
Yeah, Jorv missed. That's the Paolo is not dead, therefore Jorv missed.
Yeah, now Yeezus is basically running for his life. And again, like, I'm not saying anything against Celtsy. I'm just saying in the terms of the team comp, maybe. I'm just thinking we're getting a little out-comped here. Like, it just doesn't seem, the synergy's not there. We set up all this siege, which is great. The Frog gets in there, which is great. The Penny, I don't know. It doesn't feel like it's fitting.
I think that they needed a clunk in this particular matchup. Paolo going to end up going down.
Jorv
picking up the,
yeah.
And it's going to come in as a 1-to-1 trade.
2-1.
2-1 trade, right? Celtsy gets picked off on the back end of that, so that was unfortunate. But if a clunk had been there instead, I have a feeling that the siege would have been much more efficient, would have been much more effective. they could use the Clunk to siege and do tower damage while the droids were stopped underneath it. Even if the droids weren't doing the damage, the left click definitely could from that distance. And he would have been a body that could not be bursted easily by this triple dash combo. In fact, the explode in retaliation might have been enough to get kills back. So Gnaw and Clunk maybe it would have been a good move in this case. And then finally the frog pickup. Lots of damage out of Jorv, absolutely. But he's got the same problem that Penny does. He's easy to kill and he's very burstable. Oh, out comes the grapple, the drop. They know exactly where he is. Jorv using the invincibility frames in a very good way, but is it going to be enough to save him? Just barely. Yeah, just barely. Oh, they know he's there. Blah's looking for him. Dash coming through. Kaio's going to find him, though, and that grapple going to end up getting the kill. So that's going to be the end of him. Now, Paolo, he's picked up a couple of upgrades since he's got size. Oh,
he's down too. Yeah, these wards are not holding a chance anymore.
No, the wards are completely done. They don't last. It's just he goes down very quickly. He doesn't have kills. He's got regen. Not the upgrade you want to pick up against a burst lineup like this. It's great against damage over time. It's great. Yeah, it's great when you want to sustain yourself in a lane in the sense of, oh, you're taking harassment, but you're not getting bursted down very much. Then regen is a good move. But in this case, regen, it's not going to do anything. When they triple dash you, you're just going to die.
Yep.
And yeah. Everybody going home, going to buy some stuff.
A lot of cash now between these teams.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And that's going to be a maxed out dash. It now has Antique Machine Gun on Paolo. So, yeah, that's going to be painful. It's going to hit everybody. He's also got size on Cloud. So that blind and that solar gain going to happen in a much wider area. Yeezus picking up the 500 HP. Paolo going to end up doing the 700 damage to Jorv because, hey, guess what? That size goes through everything now. Yeezus is going to get picked off on the back end here. Jorv going to try to do some damage because Tweeters, he gets downed as well. Celtsy now running away for his life, and he's going to succeed in doing so. But, yeah, two of his teammates done. He's taking damage from the dashes. He really can't stay near the turret. If he gets too close, Paolo's just going to just dash him again and again.
They're protecting that super droid so hard.
Yeah, that super droid very good at dealing damage to turrets, at wiping out creep waves. Like, it's always good to support it if you can. And in this case, the blue team absolutely can. They're coming in. This is going to probably be the core.
As well, I mean, evidence says yes, 19-3, but we do got all three defenders now here from Suck My Nauts, and they're not falling into that lemming trap that we've seen before. They're getting all three ready to go, and Boom realizes that. They're like, we don't need to overextend. We got the big advantage. There's a lot of cash between us. We're going to back off. We did get the core damage. I mean, it's missing about half. And, you know, these little guys are still actually working away on it.
And Suck My Nauts, I guess, just decided to call it a game. That's a forfeit.
Yeah.
On that particular match.
Not to. All right.
Decided, you know what? It's not worth defending anymore. That's going to be that for this first match in this best of three between Team Boom and Team SMN.
Well, at that point, I mean, your core was vulnerable. You didn't even have a tower. The siege didn't work. 19-3. I mean, yeah, I can't blame them.
I
don't like seeing it, but at the same time, let's reset. Let's get into our mindset. Let's go into game two fresh and ready, and with a new strategy. It is a mindset-saving move.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you just throw in the towel, you get a fresh new game.
Yeah, the strategy it didn't work. That's all it needs to be said. It's not really their fault. Just the knob stopped being effective, and then it was effectively a 3v2 against a very burst-heavy lineup that could collapse like that. Like, that is one of the most aggressive lineups you can imagine, and if they find an opportunity for a kill, they will get it.
And, you know, again, this is just me, not speaking for you. I'm just questioning the penny. It didn't fit.
I know.
Maybe they went penny first, then nah, so maybe I should question the nah. We don't know. We don't have the draft info, but the combination of the three, it didn't sit right, and it clearly didn't deliver either.
No, and I think that if they wanted to keep the Nah, they needed to have a bigger backbone, so a Clunk or something to dissuade people from coming too close, or a Durple maybe, so that way if they try to jump in.
That is somebody we have not seen since Qualifier.
That would have actually been a cool move in this case, because Durple would have had snare traps and nukes ready to go. Snare traps would have absolutely wreaked havoc with this mobile, weak little team on the other end, so that might have been a good move, actually, now that we think about it.
I don't even think I've seen in our replays a Durple in a while. In a long while.
That makes me sad because I know that Durple's good. You just got to know.
Just doesn't quite fit the mobility game.
He's the anti-mobility game though, and
I'm thinking he doesn't fit the mobility game.
I'm thinking meta.
Yeah, you're thinking farther than the meta.
I'm thinking ahead of the meta. Slow Wolf thinking ahead of the meta. 2015.
All right, so we're down to it, guys. This could be match point. If it's going to be a 2-0, then it will be 2-0. If it's going to be a 1-1, we'll go to a game 3. Either way, game 2, we're skipping the break. We're saying game 2, you guys deserve it. We're marching on with the time. I know a lot of people need to go to bed. We're going to go straight into game 2. So